What's happening in Egypt is a violent and bloody illustration of the depth of division and polarization in the country. On one side, armed forces determined to enforce their vision of democracy. On the other, resolute supporters of a more Islamic Egypt than the military is willing to allow. The main front lines in this battle, but not the only areas of conflict, have been the protest camps in Cairo, around Nakhta Square and Rabaa al-Adawiyya Mosque, where supporters of deposed President Morsi and his Muslim Brotherhood have camped behind barricades since he was pushed from power last month. After the failure of all international efforts at reconciliation, early this morning Egyptian forces moved in, bulldozing barricades and driving protesters out. Within a couple of hours they cleared the smaller camp, but around the mosque there is far greater bloodshed, and it's the level of violence which many governments have been quick to condemn.
The United States strongly condemns the use of violence against protesters in Egypt. We extend our condolences to the families of those who have been killed and to the injured. We have repeatedly called on the Egyptian military and security forces to show restraint.
So who are the protesters and what do they want? They're members of the Muslim Brotherhood who say their democratic election victory was stolen from them in last month's coup. But the Brotherhood's vision, entrenching Islam in government and society, made them powerful enemies, particularly in the military. So the Egyptian army, once seen as friends of all the country's people, are now seen to be taking sides. Last month they brought down President Morsi, and today the generals used their overwhelming military superiority to push his supporters in the Brotherhood off the streets. So does the scale of today's mounting death toll risk tipping Egypt towards something far worse, civil war? Egypt's government denies using excessive force.
The government salutes the efforts of the security services for imposing order in clearing the gatherings at Nada and Rabaa. These forces are using the utmost self-restraint and highest degree of professionalism in the operation to clear the sit-in.
But as violence spreads, this is Alexandria, Egypt's Vice President Mohamed El-Baradei has resigned, a serious blow to the interim government. What happens in Egypt matters far beyond the country's borders. Months, possibly years, of dangerous instability in Egypt and the wider region could be the outcome. James Robbins, BBC News.